How's it going, ladies and Bruce's up? I'm Sixkilla and welcome back to Shinrai, Broken Beyond Despair. Sorry it's taken so long to get back to this, but I've been so preoccupied with quantum suicide, unfortunately. But I figured I need to get some more of these done, so we are going to get back into this. Raiko-chan, what the hell's happening here? If you remember where we're at, I think I left us at the cliffhanger as well, where it looked like someone might have been murdered. I guess we'll see. Seems like a power outage. Don't be afraid. A power outage? What? Indeed. The only light switch in the entire dining hall was located at the entrance, right next to the sliding doors. And right before the lights had died, no one had been anywhere near those. Consequently, no one had been able to switch the lights off. So a power outage seemed to be the only logical conclusion. However, there was no storm raging outside, nor had any one of us fooled around with any electronic devices, so... what could have caused it? Shit! Bara-chan, pull yourself together. Like I said, it's just a power outage. There's no need to be afraid. But how could the power just go poof like that? I don't know, but... Guys? Are you alright? I immediately turned my head toward the source of this familiar voice. It was still too dark to clearly see anything, but... since the hallway behind her was faintly illuminated by moonlight, my eyes managed to make out the silhouette of Rai, who was now standing right in the doorway. What the heck happened? Did you guys do this? Just when I was about to leave the restroom, the light suddenly went out. We didn't do anything. Then what caused the... Never mind that. More importantly, how can we switch the lights back on? And quickly. I think Katoba's hurt. What? I don't think it's anything serious, but he seems to have lost consciousness. Oh no. Just a sec. Dang it. Doesn't seem like the light switch is working. I guess the power went out completely. Someone should probably take a look at the breaker box in the basement. Raiko-nyan? Nobara-chan? Where are you? We're over here. Ah, could you two please go take a look? The breaker room's right below the dining hall. It's the only other room I left unlocked, so there shouldn't be any problem getting inside. What? Why do we have to go? Shouldn't you? Come on, there's no time for discussions. Please? Come on, Rai, you know where everything is. This is your house. Kind of. Alright. Thanks. Runa, where are you? I'm over here, Miyamoto-san. And with that, Rai moved further into the dining hall, following Runa's voice through the darkness, while Bara-chan and I carefully got up in order to leave. Of course, Bara-chan was rather hesitant about this, but I guess there's no way around it. That's because Bara-chan's a chicken. But I like her. Someone had to take a look at the breaker box. And apparently that was us. New notebook entries. A new diary entry. On to a new chapter then. And some coffee. Whew, that's a strong one. The moment we stepped into the hallway, an icy shiver slithered down my spine. Shivering, I wrapped my arms around my body and directed my gaze to our right. There, at the end of the hallway, I could see a big circular window. Pale moonlight was pouring in through its wooden grates, drenching our feet in a ghostly glow as it spilled across the floor, which was covered by a faint carpet of mist. The moonlight wasn't the only thing that managed to get inside, however. Since the window wasn't sealed with glass and the grates had rather big openings, the frosty mountain air had an easy time infiltrating the building and latching onto our skin. Dang, it's really cold here. And pretty dark too. Even with the moonlight falling in. Indeed. Rubbing my hands across my arms, I looked at the other side of the corridor. Back when Runa had led us to the dining hall, this place had been illuminated by the warm flicker of numerous candlelights. Now, however, not even a single candle was left burning. Yeah, the power outage doesn't kill candles. Huh? Curious, I turned toward the candle stand right next to us. Although faint, there was still a hint of the distinct scent of candle smoke lingering in the air, and when I pressed my finger into the wax, it felt rather soft and moldable. Interesting. What's interesting? And what you even doing over there anyway? Oh, nothing. I was just checking something. In any case, I think we need to watch our step now, huh? Yeah. With the candlelight gone, our only remaining light source was the moon outside. Unfortunately, its beams weren't nearly enough to suppress the predominant darkness. He only reached as far as maybe the middle of the hallway. Everything beyond that point was shrouded in a thick coat of obscurity. From back here, I couldn't even make out the door leading to the reception. It was really hard to believe this was the same corridor as before. When we'd first arrived here, it had emitted such a welcoming feeling of warmth and coziness, but now it was radiating an uncanny, almost sinister atmosphere. How the hell are we supposed to get to the basement in this darkness? We're gonna trip and roll all over the place. Maybe we should ask Rai to give us a flashlight or a candle or something. I doubt she'd do that. Huh? Why's that? I'll explain on the way. But just stick close to me, okay? We should be fine as long as we move slowly and carefully. Okay. She thinks Rai did it on purpose then. Although a little reluctant, Bara-chan did as she was told. Stepped right behind me and rested her shaking hands on my shoulders. I could feel her warm breath on my neck as she whispered into my ear. I'm ready. I think. More or less. Well, let's just go and get this over with. Alright. New notebook entry. As we moved toward the darkness, leaving that big puddle of moonlight behind us, all we could hear was the sound of our own footsteps. Even the soothing whistles of the wind gradually faded into the distance behind us. The only thing that actually kept accompanying us down the hallway was the chilly air, and it was getting colder and colder the further we advanced. According to Rai, the breaker room was directly beneath the dining hall. So in order to get there, we had to take a staircase located on the other side of this hallway, and then move down the entire basement corridor. There was actually quite some distance to cover. At our current pace, it was going to take us a while to do so, and especially with a certain someone being overly hesitant about moving ahead. Do we really have to do this? Yes. Or would you rather not have the lights turned back on? Well, no, but I don't want to go into the basement. Why not? Why not? How can you be so calm about this? Who knows what's going to be waiting for us down there? And this might be the last basement we'll ever get to see. Honestly, you're such a chicken. It's just a basement. There's absolutely nothing to be afraid of down there. We're not in some cheap horror flick, you know. How can you be so sure? Come on, I mean, something must have caused the power to go poof, right? Maybe something's down there? Someone who's planning to murder us? Like in a movie? Bara-chan, don't be silly. Rai said she left the breaker room unlocked, right? I bet someone snuck in there and turned the lights off. And now they're waiting for someone to come down and check what's going on, so they can kill him. Now, would they ever enter the resort in the first place, though? Rai locked the entrance after we arrived, remember? So what? Maybe they got in some other way. Oh, or maybe it was one of them ghosts. Oh, please. That pamphlet Rai gave us said something about this whole area being haunted, right? Shit, we're so freaking screwed, man. Curses. I knew I shouldn't have let her read that pamphlet during dinner. But even if I hadn't, I guess I wouldn't have made much of a difference now anyway. That movie had done a lot more damage to her mental state than I thought. Anyway, I had to do something to calm me down before her condition could get worse. Once Bara-chan switched from the simple scaredy cat to the we're all goners mode, it was very difficult to make her think rationally again. Bara-chan, don't tell me you fell so easily for this. What do you mean? Wait, don't tell me you know what's going on here. It's painfully obvious, I'd say. It is? Then who's behind this? It's a ghost, right? It's gotta be. Oh dear. Looked as though irrational thinking was already on the verge of saying bye-bye. I had to quickly convince her that there weren't any ghosts or murderers involved in this. Mere words weren't going to suffice, though. I had to back up my claims with evidence. However, before that, it was probably best to name the culprit first. And obviously the person responsible for this blackout was none other than Rai? Rai? Of course. Who else could it be? Well, wouldn't a ghost or some evil killer make a lot more sense? More sense? Curses. Of course it wasn't going to be that easy. Oh well, I presented my theory. Now it's time to back it with evidence. Well, first of all, don't you think it's weird that Runa blew out all the candles in the dining hall right after Rai left for the rest of the room? You know, shortly before the blackout occurred? Well, Rai said she would get to the main event once she returned, right? Maybe we're gonna leave the dining hall and go somewhere else. So it's better to kill them candles, right? But what about the candles here in the hallway? Nothing that strikes you odd about them? Not really. When we first came through here, all the candles were lit, remember? Well, it's been a while since then. They probably just burned out by themselves. Come on, that can't be right. Huh? Alright, it's time to present some evidence to show her assumption was wrong. Luckily, I had a habit of taking notes and pictures of everything that seemed suspicious or important to me, so somewhere in my notebook should have been just the thing I needed. All I had to do was find an entry proving that the candles hadn't burned out by themselves. Select it and present it. Easy enough. Corridor candles. Take a look at these candles. They're rather thick and long. Sorry. it would take them several hours to burn out by themselves. And as you can see, they still have a long way to go. What's more, the candle wax on the one near the sliding door hasn't completely dried yet. In other words, not much time has passed since it was blown out. Well, it's probably the wind then, huh? No. It might be a little windy outside, but the breeze coming in through the window isn't nearly strong enough to blow out a candle like that. So then you're saying Rai blew out the candles. Exactly. The question is, why would she do that? Considering that the wax isn't completely dried yet, she must have blown them out on her way back from the restrooms. But by that time, the power outage had already occurred, so why would she do that? Good point. If we assume she's the one behind the power outage, it makes sense, doesn't it? There's no point in turning off the power if the candles are still burning everywhere. I guess. Also, don't you think it's odd that she sent us, of all people, to take care of the power problem? She or Runa know this place much better than we do. Moreover, Rai said the breaker room was already open, right? But isn't that also really weird? Is it? Well, it contradicts a certain statement Rai made earlier. About the locked rooms, yeah. Rai told us she locked almost every room in the entire resort, even our room up on the 3rd floor. Why'd she do that again? So no one can sneak in and do something stupid in there. Like Katoba or Mika. Right. But isn't it strange then, that out of all the rooms she left, the one with the breaker box is unlocked? Wouldn't that be the first room you want to secure so no one can fool around with the power? Yeah. I can imagine that'd be something Mika would do in order to scare us. In fact, didn't she even pull a stunt like that during our last school trip? Yes. Well, we all know Rai's an airhead, so she probably forgot about locking it. Just how she accidentally locked the toilets instead. Well, Rai herself stated the breaker room was unlocked, meaning she was aware of it. Then maybe she thought no one would be able to find it anyway. Wrong again. Would have been easy to find for anyone, thanks to this. The map. Right? Remember? She gave us a pamphlet shortly after we arrived. The pamphlet includes a map of the basement. If she gave one to all of us, or if everyone just took one from the reception, any of us could locate the breaker room quite effortlessly. Right. So you see? There's absolutely no reason why it should be unlocked unless someone was planning to use it tonight. Which would be Rai then. Indeed. She probably never went to the restroom. So she was lying about it? Yes. Instead she went down to the basement, turned the power off and then quickly ran back to the dining hall where she acted like she had no idea what was going on. Wait a sec. It didn't take her that long to get back to the dining hall after the power went out. How the heck did she get back so fast? It's a pretty long way, you know. There's a shortcut in the kitchen. Pretty dark. Well, about the darkness, she most likely took the candle I examined earlier with her. When she got back, she just blew it out and put it back on the stand right before entering the dining hall and acted all clueless. That's how she managed to get back so fast. There's a trick. Here, in the kitchen. Boom. You go through the kitchen. Oh, where are we? Through the food storage, out the door, and you're already here. Just took a shortcut. A shortcut? Did you already forget? You were even impressed by it. There's a shortcut leading from the food storage in the basement. Directly to the kitchen on the 1st floor. Coincidentally, the kitchen is located on the opposite side of the dining hall. Ah! I see, but why would she do all that? Faking a power outage and sending us to take care of it? Most likely part of her plans for tonight. I bet she's already preparing another surprise for us in the dining hall. Maybe even together with the others. So then she sent us to the basement because she wants to startle us upon our return. Now that you mention it, I recall hearing Rai and Runa talking about something like that at school. I overheard them saying they want to give someone who never gets scared the shock of her life. They're probably talking about you. Those two as well now. Or was it everyone trying to give me the scare of my life? Oh well. Nice try, Rai. But I wasn't going to fall for something like that so easily. Although I had to admit, she was at least a lot more creative than Mika. In any case, now that I'd proven that Rai was the one behind the blackout, Baro-chan seemed to finally relax a little. And thankfully so, since the difficult part was about to begin. Alright, there's the staircase. I think. We'd finally reached the end of the hallway. Right in front of us was the door leading to reception, but it was quite hard to make out. To our right were the restrooms, and to our left the staircase. Or at least it should have been there, but I couldn't see it at all. Since not a single shred of light managed to reach around the corner, it was basically impossible to see anything. I knew the stairs should be there somewhere, but it might as well have been a black bottomless pit. I honestly got a little nervous. Not only was this going to be not easy, it was actually going to be rather dangerous. Okay, be really careful now. One slow step after another. And always make sure you're holding on to something. Something other than me, of course. Keep your hands glued to the wall and railing. Heeding my own advice, I reached out with my hands, pressing the right one tightly against the cold clay wall and fumbling around with the other until I got hold of the banister. After taking a couple of deep breaths, I finally began descending into the darkness. Accompanied by the squeaking sounds of wood echoing through the air, we tried to make our way down to the basement. Baro-chan's nervousness levels were on the rise again, but I couldn't really blame her. In all honesty, it was the first time tonight I was starting to feel really uncomfortable myself. Maybe even a little scared. I mean, one wrong move and it was the fast way down. I was hesitant about each and every step, and started to wonder why I was even doing this. We'd already figured out Rai's plan, so there was little point in playing along. But then again, I guess a part of me actually wanted to play along. I couldn't really tell why, though. It would have been a stretch to say I was having fun, but maybe it was just the same with Mika and Hiro before. I wanted to accept Rai's challenge and prove that I was the one to come out on top. Kind of ironic, wasn't it? Despite trying to act mature all the time and condemning all the others for their childish behaviour, I guess I could still be pretty childish myself. In any case, we kept moving downward, and even though it took quite some time, eventually arrived at the bottom of the staircase. Creepy. Looks like we made it to the basement. I can't see a frickin' thing. Yes, the same applied to me, and this is quite the problem. I kinda hoped another moonlit window would exist down here, but then again, this was the basement. Raiko-chan, I'm scared. Why? I already explained to you that Rai's behind the blackout. That doesn't mean there ain't someone or something else down here, though. If I was a ghost, I'd totally be here hiding for victims, so... Curses. Looked as though my previous efforts had been in vain. She slung her arms around my waist and pressed her chest tightly against my back. I could feel the tremors of fear rushing up and down her body. Nervously, she peeked over my shoulder into the realm of darkness ahead. I couldn't see her face, but I was no doubt scarred by the purest of terror. Anyway, we can't see shit. We might as well just go back up, right? Well, not being able to see anything sure wasn't helpful in regards to completing our task. But there had to be something we could do about that. Maybe... Ah! What? What's wrong? Did something happen? Raiko-chan? Of course, why hadn't I thought of this sooner? Raiko-chan, what's going on? Did you see something? There ain't nothing here, is there? To talk to me. Shit. Shit. While Baro-chan sounded like she was about to have a mental breakdown, I quickly reached under my cardigan and into my pocket. Chill out, girl. Huh? I just had an idea. There might be a way to light the, Wait. How? My cell phone. I quickly flipped it open and the screen immediately lit up with a bluish glow. Ignoring the message telling me that it was unable to get reception in this area, I navigated through the menus. Unfortunately, my cell phone didn't have an actual built-in flashlight, but I could at least turn up the screen brightness some more. After doing that, I pointed the screen directly at the darkness in front of us, and what kind of cell phone doesn't have a frickin' flashlight? Come on. Where are we living? 2004? Oh, great idea, Raiko-chan. The light's not that strong, but it's better than nothing, I guess. Yes, with this we could at least see something, even if it wasn't much. Without hesitation, I began utilizing this new light source by waving it around a bit and illuminating the corridor as much as possible. From what I was able to make out, it actually didn't seem much different from the one above. Alright, now we should be fine like this. Time to move on. Why'd you need to have that stupid idea? Well, you wanted to go back up the stairs in the dark? First it was a great idea, and now it was stupid? Oh well, we'd made it this far. I definitely wasn't going to turn back now. As I moved ahead, Bara-chan kept following me. Her hands clawed deep into my shoulders as she kept anxiously peeking over them. It was almost as though she was using me as a shield. For whatever she feared was lying in wait for us down here. Admittedly, this place had a somewhat eerie atmosphere about it. But the only thing that really worried me is our limited field of vision. The cell phone light helped out a bit, but it was still better not to overdo it and keep a rather slow pace. I didn't quite fancy painfully bumping my nose into a wall after all. There is only one wall on the way. If I recall correctly, the right part of the basement was separated by from the left with a wall and a built-in door. A door beyond the entrance was only permitted to the resort staff. Strictly speaking, there was absolutely no reason for it to be unlocked either, but it was. Okay, we're almost there. You know, I just realized that even if you're right and Rai's behind all this, it means she's probably got some sort of surprise already waiting for us in the breaker room. Well, this is Rai we're talking about, so I guess we can't rule it out. There might be some kind of trap around here, set up with the hopes of scaring the living daylights out of us. Then why the hell are we moving into it, right into it? Because whatever it is, it surely isn't going to kill us. Aren't you curious? If there really is a trap ahead, I'd sure like to find out what Rai came up with. Traps are there to be triggered, after all. Since when did you turn into such a masochist? Well, what could I say? The idea of a trap waiting for us was kind of exciting. I actually wanted one to be there, just so I could prove that I wasn't going to lose to any of Rai's dirty tricks. I had to admit, this is starting to get fun. A little, at least. Well, let's see if there's a surprise waiting for us or not. So this was it. After I'd stopped and turned to my right, I waved the light of my cell phone across the door in front of us. There was letters stamped into its clean metal surface spelling out the words, Electrical and Boiler Room. While Bara-chan dug her fingers even deeper into my shoulders, as though she was trying to drill holes in them, I took a deep breath and reached for the cold metal handle. Just like Rai had said, the door was unlocked. Bracing myself for everything she might have set up for us, I carefully pushed it open. Bara-chan? What's wrong now? I don't know how to pronounce that. Hey, what the heck are you... Is she okay? Whoa. That had hurt. I had absolutely no idea what just happened, but as a result of it, I was now lying flat on my face, kissing cold concrete. When all my senses had finally come back to me, I pressed my palms against the floor and tried to push myself up. Unfortunately, something rather heavy kept my lower body nailed to the ground. Bara-chan? Sorry. You right? I'm fine. Although, I'd feel better if you could, you know, get off my legs. We're working on it. It took a moment, but it seemed as though Bara-chan managed to get back on her feet. The sound of her slapping the dirt off her butt echoed through the darkness for a few seconds before she eventually grabbed my arms to lift me up as well. While brushing some dirt off my own clothes, I tried taking a look around. But unfortunately, it was still too dark to make out any of our surroundings. So what was that all about? Sorry, that noise scared the shit out of me, and then there was something weird and really cold touching my neck all of a sudden. Something weird and cold? Yeah, it dropped from the ceiling. Maybe it was blood? Kinda doubt that. Listen for a second. You hear that? Sounds like water to me. That's the sound of water dropping. Maybe you're standing under a leaky pipe or something. Maybe. I'd love to check, but my cell phone's gone. What? It slipped out of my hand when you suddenly tackled me to the floor. Oh shit. I had let my hand search the floor while Bara-chan had tried to get up, but to no avail. My phone had almost likely slid further into the room and neither landed with screen facing the floor or in a very dark corner, since I couldn't make out its bluish glow anymore. What now? It's so dark in here I can't see shit. How are we supposed to turn on them lights like this? Well, we gotta find a way. But as you said, we need to find a light source first. So either we try finding my phone, or maybe there's some other way to enlighten us. How can you still make stupid puns in a situation like this? Sorry, I couldn't resist. Anyway, let's see what we can find, and please, mind your step. Okay. My poor cell phone. Maybe it was a bit old by now, and maybe I'd barely made any use of it, but still, I liked it a lot, and I would have been glad to get it back in one piece. Nice. Oh, it's an investigation part. Can we check under here? It's no use. I can't see a thing. Oh, window. Hey, wait a second. Interesting. Huh? Raikkonen? What's up? Where you at? Did you find something? I did indeed. Yes. These glowing outlines right here. A window. It wasn't completely closed shut, so I could clearly see its glowing contours. Some bright source of light had been shining on it from the other side. Come to think of it, this wall was facing the exact same direction as the circular moonlight window in the corridor above us, so... Whoa. Let there be light. Alright, it's still a little dark in here, since the moonlight doesn't reach into every corner of the room. But it's a lot better than before. Lucky us. Good thing the moon's shining brightly tonight. Indeed. But wow, this place is a lot bigger than I thought. Can we find the phone now? Oh shit, it really is. It certainly was. That was to be expected. Even if it wasn't sharing the same width, it was still sharing the same length as the dining hall above us. Crazy. Alright, let's not waste any time. We still need to find my phone, and use the breaker box. Yeah, by the way, what does the breaker box look like? I'll show you. Like this thing right here? That's the breaker box. I see. Looks kind of weird. You know how these things work? Well, I know how ours at home works, and I doubt this is going to be much different. Besides, Rai managed to operate it, so it can't be that hard. That was kind of mean. But I guess you're right. Because she's stupid. Curses. What's wrong? I can't get it open. It's jammed. Eh? Well, this is annoying. Wait a sec, if it's jammed, then how did Rai manage to use it earlier? Don't tell me there's a ghost behind this after all. Nonsense. It might be stuck, but that doesn't mean it's impossible to get open. Besides, it's possible it worked fine earlier and Rai caused it to get stuck. Either intentionally or unintentionally. Well, Rai can never control his string, so I can totally see her slamming it shut by accident. Why do you think she'd do it intentionally, though? To stall for time? The longer it takes us to get back, the more time she has to set up her surprise. No, I guess. Well, in any case, what are we going to do now? Let's see, if I had something thin, I could try and squeeze it into the panel, slit and simply pry it open, like a knife or a flat-headed screwdriver or anything kind of like that. You think we could find something like that around here? Maybe. We seem to store a bunch of tools down here, so let's just take a look around. Take a look around! There's a wooden box sitting here filled with a lot of old junk. Most of it seems to be broken boys' toys like mechas and masked hero figures. They're all heavily damaged. Some of them missing arms and legs or even their heads. Poor figures. Someone is really going all out with them. Indeed. Must have been some pretty epic battles though. I mean, look. That one's got a tiny sword stuck in his chest. Kind of brutal. I wonder who they'd belong to. Oh, there's something written here on the box in bad handwriting. Property of the great Rai-sama. There you have your answer. Rai never really changed much since she was a little kid, huh? Looks like it. I want that little sword. Maybe I can pop the breaker open with it. Cases, it's locked. Well, I doubt there's anything useful inside anyway. Then how about on top of it? There seems to be something lying there, but I'm not nearly tall enough to reach it. And then maybe down there. Nope. Nothing but dirt and cobwebs. Well, what a disappointment. The broom. A bucket and broom are resting in the corner. You can say it's good that earlier in the darkness neither of us kicked the bucket. Anyway, it doesn't look like my phone's hiding here, so time to move on. A bunch of very thin pipes connecting to little metal boxes are attached to the wall here. There are 3 circular gauges in the center, but they aren't labelled, so I can't tell exactly what they gauge. Acceleration, speed, and fuel. No. Why not? Because this is a resort, not a racing car. Fine. Can we just look on the floor? Wherever my phone might be, it's certainly not in plain view now. It's probably hiding in some obscure corner. I should still watch my step though, just in case. Pipe? I could have imagined my phone sliding beneath this copper pipe, but it's nowhere to be found. It does have to be somewhere close to the entrance though. I mean, it can't have slid that much further into the room, can it? There's a piece of paper stuck to the wall and a button right below it. It's big, red, and covered with a tiny glass panel inside a metal case with the black and yellow warning stripes on it. It's the kind of button you're probably not supposed to press. What's this button for? No idea. Maybe that piece of paper tells us. Let's see. It's a bit hard to read due to the lack of light, but right on top it says for emergency use only in bold letters. Emergency use? Oh, this is an emergency, right? Maybe we should press it then. I would advise against that. Why? Because this button apparently activates the resort's self-destruct mechanism. What? If we press it, the whole place will blow up within 5 minutes. You can't be serious. I'm just telling you what's written here. It says there are about 900 tons of explosives stored around the basement. 900 tons? I actually haven't got a clue what that means, but 900 is a big number. That's probably going to be a big bang, right? Who the heck would do that and why? Like, why the hell would a resort like this even need a self-destruct mechanism? Well, actually, this paper is signed by Rai, so... Rai. Of course you'd implement a self-destruct system. That girl's his real cray-cray. How silly of me to think that the obvious conclusion would be to assume that it was just another one of Rai's pranks. Pretty sure it's just a joke. Look here. There's a hole with some cracks around it in the wall behind this paper. Probably just hanging there to cover it up. It's a pretty big hole though. How'd that get there? Don't ask me, but consider this paper was made by Rai, it might be her doing. That girl's really got too much strength. So like, what's the button for then? Want to find out? Nah, I actually ain't that curious. Let's just not push any big red buttons with warning stripes, okay? What a spoil sport. Whoa, that's like the biggest speaker I've ever seen. It's not a speaker, it's a ventilation shaft. What? Why? Don't ask me. It's just the way it is. Jim, fools. Why would you have a ventilation shaft if you could turn it into a giant speaker? What a waste. And here I was hoping to have a USB port so I could plug in my MP3 player and load up some chill LJ raps. Well, it's already chill enough down here anyway. Some kind of black box is attached to the wall here. Due to the darkness and it hanging rather high up, it's impossible to make out details on it, so I can't tell exactly what it is. We're actually going to wrap this episode up here, and we're going to finish the investigation in the next one, I think, because it's probably take a while, and we're already over our 30 minutes for today. But yeah, it's a good stopping point. We'll find the phone, and we'll turn the lights back on, and we'll see what happens next. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for getting out there, and I'll see you in the next one.